The music. Hello, everybody. It is me. It is my birthday, and if you can't tell from my voice, I'm really, really sick. It actually really hurts to talk right now, but I feel like it's almost tradition for me to stream on my birthday. Now, I don't know if that's actually true. I have no idea if I streamed last birthday or the year before that, but I felt like I did. And so I will stream again. I would love to show you all of the Christmas presents, birthday presents that I've gotten. So the first thing is that you might have seen earlier this morning is that I played a card game called Grand Archive, and oh my god, my glasses are reflecting the screen so badly. I can see it in the stream. It's crazy. Anyway, so I um I've got into this card game called Grand Archive. I went to Smash, which is like an anime con here in Australia. I played one of the free demo decks they had available, and when the starter decks went on sale, I bought three of them. They were $50. Now they dropped to 25. And when I got them, they were on $15 per starter deck. So I got three starter decks. Played them with my cousin Raf. If you've seen him, he was earlier in the stream, this morning's stream. And I really liked the game. And for my birthday, I wanted one of the expensive starter decks called the Sylvie Recollection starter deck, which features like a really nice deck case. It has like card sleeves as well as some unique cards that you can't pull from booster packs. You can only get in the starter deck. And according to Reddit, it is also a meta deck that people play in competitive. So I thought that if I ever had the time to enter a card store, I might be able to play against other people. But unfortunately, it is out of stock. Anyway, that whole long-winded explanation has led to him buying me a booster box. Look, he got me a Grand Archive booster box. Um, this is the Fractured Crown set over there. Um, it features 20 booster packs, and I believe boosters are selling like one of them is like $8, so he actually got scammed. This is worth $80, but he paid $100 for it. But it's okay because we love him, and he gave me a really nice present. He thought about it. Everything I asked for was unfortunately out of stock, so he got me the booster box instead. I'm very happy that he did. I even opened a booster pack with him. So this was the booster pack that I opened with him earlier, like about 10 minutes ago. I'll show you all of the cards. Unfortunately, they are not in focus because of my webcam, and also the lighting is horrible. I really apologize for that. But these are all common cards. The card that we were both really excited for was actually this card. It's called Ordinary Bear. I know that the quality is actually really bad. Can you see it better like this? Oh, the lighting is horrible. It's so bad. Why won't you focus? Focus. Focus. It's not focusing. But Ordinary Bear is a, let's see. Ordinary Bear is a 3 cost card. That's a 2 attack, 3 health minion. It is a beast card, and it is also a floating memory with Pride 2. Pride 2 means your champion must be level 2 to play this. The reason why we were really excited to pull this card is because one of the starter decks is called Sylvie, the Sylvie starter deck. I'll actually get the decks out so I can show you guys the cards too. I mean, not that you guys can see the cards, it's just, sorry my webcam is so bad. Look, I got some deck cases. These are the cheaper deck cases. They're like $5 each. Want to get nicer ones, but I can't justify it because I'm not really playing the card games. I'm just playing it with him. It doesn't really feel good to buy expensive deck cases, especially because I'm not even sleeving my cards. All my cards are just raw. Right. So the Sylvie starter deck is a kind of control style deck. Not really control. I guess it's a little bit like control, where the idea is you have a board of a lot of beasts. They all have the keyword intercept if you hit level 3, which means that if your opponent tries to attack your champion, you are able to block it with your beast. You can like block with it, just like in Magic, I think. So It's like a stalling deck. It's supposed to beat out aggro because you're gonna flood the board with a lot of beasts. When you hit level 2, you get to draw 2 cards if you have a beast and an animal in play. So uh, from the starter deck, it actually features a lot of spell cards that aren't really useful in my opinion. So I decided to swap them out with a bunch of beasts that I bought. They were like 10 cents a card. I know these cards aren't really worth that much in the collector's market. So I got a lot of common cards, like 10 cents each. I bought a lot of bees. It made the deck a lot more consistent. And I think I can take away some of the weaker beasts in favor of the ordinary bear, because this bear is actually really good. For 3 mana, you get 2-3 worth of stats. I'll show you a different card here. It's called the Royal Bear, which is really funny. Uh, because this was the card that I bought. It's called the Royal Bear. It is a 4 attack. It's a 4 cost minion. It's also 2-3, 2 attack and 3 health, but it has the bonus that it gets +1/+1 if you are a tamer. And Sylvie is a tamer, so it's always going to get that permanent +1/+1. So it's actually a 4 mana 3/4. It's good stats for the cost. It's not a good card by any means, but it does make the Sylvie deck a lot more consistent, and I'm really happy that I bought this card and I used it. And I just thought it was so funny that they remade the Royal Bear, or I guess they made the Royal Bear, they made the ordinary bear and then they turned it into a royal one. I just thought it was really funny. I'm really excited to try to use this card in my deck. I want to see how good it makes it, because the 2-3 stat line is pretty good. 3 health is a pretty big it's a pretty big threshold, because there's a lot of spells in the game that I know. I shouldn't say like I play this game a lot. I just only play the 5 starter decks I have at the moment. But a lot of the decks that I own hit a threshold of dealing 2 damage. So for example, because in this, it's not like Hearthstone, where Hearthstone minions, they don't heal back to full health, they retain damage. It's kind of like Magic, where you're gonna have to kill them all in one turn. Minions recover health at the end of a turn. So if you can't kill a card in one turn, it heals back to full. So because this card's only 2 attack, I need this card and another card to kill a 3 attack, 3 health minion. So having 3 health is actually pretty significant. High health matters quite a bit. Anyway, that's all to say. I'm excited to use this card because a lot of 3 mana 2/3s are very, very annoying. I got a message from Discord actually. I'm gonna check that out real quick. I got a happy birthday message because someone saw that I was streaming on Discord. That's really cute actually. Alright, so oh, we actually pulled I'll show you all the cards. I know they're not focusing and the lighting is absolutely horrible. But this is a card that I can't use unfortunately because it is an assassin card, and one of the champions, her name is Tristana. I don't have Tristana, unless I pull her from the booster box, but I can't use this one. They have Steady Burst. Theoretically, Sylvie is able to use this card because it is a tamer card. It's also the type of card is called a melody. So what that means is that if you play a melody and a harmony card in the same turn, you get to draw a card. So there's some bonuses. I don't really understand because I've never been able to play both a harmony and a melody card with a Sylvie deck. It just seems really difficult to do, and the payoff you get isn't that much. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this card. It just seems like a really bad tech card. But I did pull an ultra rare. Actually, Raph opened this pack, so Raph got the ultra rare. It is called the Majestic Spirit. It is a Crux card, so you're only able to play this card if you're level 3. The only champion I know that is a Crux element is Lorraine, who is an aggressive warrior deck. I can make Fire Lorraine and I can make Wind Lorraine. Both decks are quite aggressive. Water decks are the control ones, but if you guys look at the cost, I know you can't really see it, but it costs 12 cards and it's a blue card instead of a yellow card. So you need to have put 12 cards into your memory as Lorraine and banish all of them to play this card. Granted, it is a very strong card. It is 4 attack and 10 health. This thing is virtually unkillable unless the opponent has a card that says like remove a minion or kill a minion entirely, which those cards do exist, but if it is minion to minion combat and someone is able to play this card, it is like actually over for them. It also has the keyword intercept, so because it has the keyword intercept, you really, the opponent has to, not has to attack this, but like they don't have a choice, because if they try to hit your champion, they need to run into this. So when I look at this card, it feels like, and it has vigor as well. Vigor means it wakes up at the end of the turn. If you attack with a unit, they are rested, but with vigor they actually wake back up at the end of the turn. And if an intercept unit is awake, then they must attack it. So you can just freely attack with the card. It's gonna wake up and then it's gonna have intercept. So it's a really big wall that gets in the way of opponents. So it could be a catch-up card. If you're losing and you're in a defensive position, you might be able to play it. It also has the added benefit of if a different Rocks element unit would take damage, prevent half of that damage. And a unit could be a champion or it could be a minion. So I'm assuming that refers to Lorraine, the champion. So if the opponent, let's say, has spell cards that are able to target the champion directly, that bypasses intercept, so I would just take half damage instead. So this is a really good defensive card. The only thing is it is such a high memory cost, management cost, that it seems virtually unplayable in the Wind Lorraine deck that I have. I might need to make a blue Lorraine deck depending on what cards I've gotten here. So we actually got a blue warrior card. It's called what is it? It's called Guarded Dissipation. Guarded Dissipation. It prevents the next blank X amount of damage, where X is the attack on my weapon. So this card I find is really strange, because it wants you to have a high attack weapon to prevent a high amount of damage, but if you're a water deck, your aim is for control. So how would you be able to get a high attack weapon? The highest attack weapon I've ever gotten is maybe a 2 or a 3 attack weapon. So this when I think about it, it costs like it might prevent two costs to prevent 3 damage, and it does draw you a card, but it just feels like a really weird card to print. I'm not sure if a water warrior deck really works out. I've seen a lot of water warrior cards, but they just seem really slow, and it doesn't really fit with what the deck is trying to do. Granted, I don't have a lot of water warrior cards, so maybe I'm not seeing the synergy, but from what I've been playing, it just feels like water warrior is just a unicorn. It's just a dream. Anyway, all of that was just from one pack that I didn't even open on stream yet. I have a lot of thoughts and I have a lot of ideas about deck building in regards to this game, because I don't follow the professional scene. I don't really watch any YouTube videos. I just watched a video about clarifying the rules a little bit, and I watched, I think, 2 videos explaining the different starter decks, because I was thinking which one I should buy. I'm really into the idea of a control deck. I love Rai, which is the mage I played earlier in the morning, and I love Kong Ming. They're both control style decks, while Rai is a combo type deck, while Kong Ming is just a standard control deck. There's a lot of different win conditions with Kong Ming, and it's interesting to see which one we need to choose and which one we need to forego depending on the opponent. It's just I really love control decks. Not that there's anything wrong with aggro decks, but I just find that they're boring. They play the same way. But with Kong Ming and Rai, you really gotta think so much about what you're doing with your cards, and that's what I really want out of how I play. It's a bit ironic because in Hearthstone, I think I just played Plague Death Knight. It's more of a mid-range deck, that one. I didn't really like playing it, but it had a really high win rate and it countered a lot of the meta decks. So I played that a lot. Also, it was the free deck that I've gotten, and I almost hit Legend. I think I hit like Diamond 5, and I just stopped the grind because it was too much. It was getting too toxic for me. Anyway, we have 19 more packs to go, so let's start opening them. Alright, so let's open this one. It's a bit tricky to open these guys. There you go. That's actually pretty easy. Graph made it look like it was so difficult. But, Alright, so the card's open facing this way. I'm gonna put it face down to open it up. You can really hear that sound. Ready? Alright. I can't really see the card on my screen. Is that the same card I just pulled? Steadyverse, that is the card I pulled in the last pack. So you have Steadyverse. Steadyverse. What is that? Song of Frost. Tamer Skill Melody. Oh, whoa. You may banish a card with floating memory from your graveyard rather than pay this card's reserve cost if a unit is attacking at the combat phase. Whoa. That's a really strong card. As a phase ends, banish all triggers, activations, and materializations on the effect step. Okay, this is a really interesting card. It basically says if your opponent is trying to attack, he just can't do anything. So I would assume the attack does not resolve, and then if it ends their combat phase, then if they have 5 units, then the rest of the 4 units are unable to attack, and you bought yourself 1 turn for only 2 mana. That's really, really powerful. It is a water card. It's very powerful. Unfortunately, I can't use it in a Rai deck, and because it is a tamer skill and there's a class bonus attached to it, I can't play it in my Kongming deck because I believe Kongming is a mage. But I can slot this in a Sylvie deck. It's also a melody, which is it has some synergy with some Sylvie cards. So it's really exciting to see how I can slot this in when I can swap out, because this might actually give you an extra turn for you to do stuff, which is incredibly important in a control matchup. I'm very happy I pulled this card. Next up, what do we have? We have... Is that a win card?
God, what? You don't fucking what?
It's called Dematerialize. It's a cleric spell. It's a win. The types of spells don't really matter. It might be a cleric, a tamer, a warrior spell. It doesn't matter unless there's a class bonus attached to the card. If I was a tamer, I could play a cleric spell, no problem. But if the cleric spell had a class bonus, then obviously it's only applicable to clerics, and tamers are unable to use it. Return target regalia to its owner's material deck. That's really interesting. You can actually use it both offensively and you can use it on both yourself and your opponent. If your opponent has a really powerful regalia which you're afraid that they might use, you can just send it back. But it is 3 mana. 3 cost. 3 cost for such an effect. It's like a very interesting tech card because you might want to use it on your own regalia and you want to use it again next turn, or you can use it on your opponent's regalia. There's a lot of uses. The problem is that it's a win card, and the only win deck I have in play is my Lorraine Warrior deck, which is an aggro deck. So unfortunately, I'm not able to slot this in because it's just too slow of a card in that aggro deck. I need full aggro package. I need cards to draw, cards to deal damage. So having a card that virtually does seemingly nothing for 3 costs, by the way, 3 costs, it's so expensive. This is an unplayable card at the moment, but any future win decks would be perfect. Next up, we have Develop Mana. Develop Mana reads, put a level counter on your champion. Champions get a +1 level for each level counter on them. For 3 mana, this card seems really bad. 3 mana, gain 1 level forever. There's only a couple decks that really care about what your level is. Most of the time, you don't want to spend 3 whole cards just to gain 1 level, because there's a lot of other cards that are able to do the same thing for a lot cheaper. Granted, this is permanent, and those other cards that are cheaper, it is a temporary effect, but I don't think that this is a good enough effect to warrant a card slot and 3 cost for. It's just too slow, and I can't see any use for it, unfortunately.
What is what I do right now? What do I feel like welcome.
Sorry, I was just checking the stream.
What do you mean?
Next up, we have a card called Blazing Bowman. Now, I like the art of this card a lot, actually. It looks really, really cool. It says, Blazing Bowman's attack cannot be retaliated. You may banish a fire element card from your graveyard. If you do, Blazing Bowman gets a +2 attack until the end of the turn. It is a 3 mana 2/1. It can't be retaliated, which is a cool effect. Unfortunately, 3 mana for a 2/1 is just really, really weak. You don't, for a 3 mana card, you are able to get 2/3s. 3 mana 2/3s seem to be the golden standard in Grand Archive. 3 mana 2/3. So a 3 mana 2/1, and if you banish a fire element card from your graveyard, it gets +2 attack, meaning that on the turn you play it, the best case scenario is that it's a 4/1 and you're dealing 4 attack. And you really want to spend 3 cards and banish a fire card. So there's actually 4 cards for 4 damage in 1 turn, and the opponent can easily attack this. It can't be retaliated, which is good if I guess you're sniping off units, but because it's only 1 health next turn, your opponent can just kill it. It just seems like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel worth it to me. Yeah, alright. So they were all comments. I should actually pay attention to the rarity. Right. Next up, we have Korhazi Arsonist? Korhazi Arsonist?
Day I've been doing something. I can just
It's an assassin card. Remove a preparation counter from your against stealth until the end of turn. If a unit hit by Korhazi Arsonist this turn would die, banish it instead. Whoa. It actually has a powerful effect where it would banish a unit instead of killing them. Now, that is significant for a couple of reasons. Some units, just like the bear, has floating memory, which means that you're able to use it after it dies. But because if the creature dies, goes to the graveyard, and this, if it just goes to banishment instead, so you're unable to use any extra effects. There's some creatures with death rattles, like on death effects, that won't be triggered because it's instantly banished. This card is, I feel, is extremely strong. Unfortunately, I don't think it slots into any particular deck that I own at the moment, because the 2 fire decks I have are Ranger decks and Mage decks. I can probably put this in my Ranger deck, but there's not a lot of synergy with the other cards, except that it's just a solid card, nice to have. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be using it at the moment. If I'm able to get a Fire Lorraine deck going, I would probably use this card. But aside from that, it's just gonna sit in my pile for a little while. It's a common. Oh, sorry, this one's an uncommon. Actually, it's an uncommon. I think it says there are 28 common cards and 28 foil common cards. There's 18 uncommon, 21 rare, 16 super rare, 7 ultra rare, and there's 8 collector super rare. So it's fun. Alright, we have green slime. There's actually a water slime, and I think there's a fire slime as well. This is one of the cards that's included in the Sylvie collection deck. I didn't think I could pull it here, but I think there's a bunch of other cards I can pull. It's not that exciting of a card. It's you literally can't use it unless you're Sylvie most of the time, so it doesn't really matter for me at the moment. Oh my gosh! Look, guys, I got a super rare. I know I don't sound excited because I don't know the signet because of it, but it is super rare. It is a 4-cost unit, Uther Illustrious King. It is a Luxem card, so unfortunately I'm not able to play it because I don't have a Luxem champion. The Luxem champion, I believe, is the Guardian starter deck, Tonaris, which I don't currently have, so this guy is going to be unplayable. But it has Intercept and Vigor, so it is a defensive card as well. It has 4 attack and 4 health. On enter, I may rest Uther. When I do, I can banish a target non-champion object. Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. I can just get rid of any card in the game. Wow, that's crazy. And if Uther dies, then the object I banished gets returned. But it is a nice effect. It is also a defensive card, and it's a super rare. And it's Uther. It's Uther, guys. Wow, that's I got an ultra rare and a super rare. Um, I don't know how to feel. Should I feel happy? I guess so. I got pretty rare cards. My birthday is now officially over in Australia. It is now 12 a.m. And apparently I've been streaming for 26 minutes and I opened 2 packs. So maybe I'll just open this last pack and I'll call it a day. I'm feeling really tired. I shouldn't be talking this much. I'm straining my voice a lot. But again, birthday tradition. I want to, I don't know, I want to celebrate with everyone. Let's open it up. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, whoops. What's that? What is that? It's a blue card. Hive Proclamation. On enter, draw a card. Players can't draw more than 3 cards each turn unless it's the first turn of the game. Whoa. That's a very specific tech card, I think. If you know your matchups and you know your opponent's going to draw a lot, this might benefit you more than it benefits them. Because obviously, because Rai, for example, will draw like a million cards a turn, but this card will just talk Rai over. So this is a really nice tech card. I think in official tournaments you have like a sideboard where you can tech this in. It seems really strong. I probably won't use it in home games, but if I'm going to a card shop and they have like the sideboards and stuff and I can text the card out, I'll probably put this in because it's so strong. You can't draw more than 3 cards unless it's the first turn, and that's crazy. Oh my goodness. Alright, next up we have Impervious Highlander. Let's see. It's a 3-cost unit, it's a 2/2. On enter, it gains plus X attack at the end of turn, where X is the amount of allies that the opponents control more than me. Oh, so if I have 1 unit and the opponent has 3, then this would have it would have +2 attack only at the end of turn. But to be honest, it just feels like a really weak card. If you're ahead, it's a 3 mana 2/2 do nothing, and if you're behind, you don't really want to play this card when you're behind, because let's say you just get an extra +1 attack, then it's a 3 mana 3/2 for the turn. Is that powerful? It seems very middling, so I wouldn't necessarily slot this in any particular deck. It's a warrior card, and if I'm playing a warrior Lorraine deck, I would want more allies than my opponent. Actually, it's a really interesting tech card against Sylvie, because Sylvie is able to flood the board with a lot of beasts. So in my specific home game, I could make my Lorraine deck much better against a Sylvie deck, but then it just feels bad to know that I would have an unfair advantage. It's a really interesting tech card that I feel doesn't really have a place in my home deck. And then we have Blazing Moment again. We've already seen that card. And then we have Ordinary Bear. Already seen that card. Whoa, this card's a foil. Raph, this card is shiny.
Wait 2 seconds.
This card's shiny.
Wait, what?
It's an Incendiary Fractal. And it's a fire shiny Incendiary Fractal. It's a 4-cost. On enter, deal 2 damage to target ally you don't control. And as a class bonus, deal 4 damage to that ally instead. That's a 4 mana deal 4 reservable. I think this will find a home in Rai, because I have a lot of stuff that's very similar to this that doesn't have the effect, but I think a lot of the effects I'm looking for is removal spells, and unfortunately I don't have a lot of them. And this not only is a removal spell, it's actually able to help me in future turns as well, because it lowers the cost of the card by 1 because I can rest it and lower a card by 1. So it's, oh my gosh, and it's a shiny. This is a really good card. I'm happy I put this. Even though it is a common, it's the thing with home games, right, is that obviously I don't have access to the whole library. I'm playing with very limited selections of cards, and if it's like I'm forced to put in a middling card, and if you have like a card with a good effect that you're looking for, it really matters a lot. And this matters a lot to me, even though it's a common. But and it's also a foil. That's so cool. I really want to sleeve this. Unfortunately, I don't have any sleeves, but I'd love to sleeve this. Next up, we have Refracting Missile. I've seen this card before, actually. It's deal damage to target unit equal to the amount of fractals you control plus 1. The thing is, it's the worst case scenario. It's a 3 mana deal 1 damage, which is horrible. It has a floating memory, which saves it a little bit, but still. 3 mana, deal 1 damage seems so bad. You need fractals to play this card. In Kongming, I have, I think, 4 fractals in a 60 card deck. So what are the chances that I draw at least 1 fractal and also this card? That's about 5 in 60. Opening hand 5 in 53. That's less than 10% chance of this thing dealing 2 damage. That's a horrible card unless you flood your deck with fractals. But even then, a fractal heavy deck, what's even a win con? I've learned a lot since my Hearthstone days. I really learned how to think about deck building, and I don't think this is worth it. We have a blue card, Azure Protective Trinket. Banish up to 3 fire element cards from a single graveyard. So you're probably using this to attack against a fire deck. The thing is, the problem with attack cards like this, right? It's good in a side deck. If you know your opponent's going to play a fire deck, obviously you're putting this in. But against any other deck, mind you, there's water and there's wind. So there's a 33% chance that you can use this card and a 66% chance you can't. And what are even the odds? Like, it's not even worth considering. And then now we have Innervate Energy. It is a mage spell. As an additional cost to activate this card, de-level your champion. Whoa. And recover 5 units you control gain stealth or spell shroud. It's a very interesting card that unfortunately I can't even consider. Because it is a heal spell and it lets all your units live for an additional turn. I guess if you're Lorraine, I'm certain that there are scenarios where you can play this card. I just can't imagine one in my home games where I would actually play this in my win deck, because currently, again, only win Lorraine. There's no situation that I feel like I would actually play this card. Yeah, does he not know what a live stream is? There's no one watching, by the way. Actually, I have 2 people watching, Rap. It's you and Puma. You're watching in real life my YouTube stream. Alright, let's open the last pack, and I'm gonna go to sleep. It is 12:08 a.m. I'm tired. I hope to God they can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope the background music isn't too loud. Alright, last pack of the day, and then we're packing it up. I'm really tired, actually. Oh, I got the same card again. And in the normal form, I'm definitely going to put both of these in my deck. We have Scavenging Raccoon. I pulled this card, and I did put it in my deck. It seems really strong. Not really strong, but it does have a good effect where you can banish up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. It is also an animal card, and my Sylvie deck was really lacking the animal cards. So a 2 mana 1/1 with an upside. Even though it's a 1/1, it's only 2 mana, so it's not that bad. 2 mana 1/1 with an upside. It's a situational card, but it does have a good effect. Lurking Assailant. It's an assassin card. Lurking Assailant has stealth as long as it's awake. Lurking Assailant may retaliate against attackers while not defending. That's an interesting... It's a 3 mana 2/3 as well. That's what I'm saying. It's a 3 mana 2/3 with an upside. So why in the hell would I play a 3 mana 2/1 that turns into a 4/1? That's like crazy. They retaliate against attackers while not defending. So I guess if they would attack my champion, I would be able to retaliate. But maybe that's how it works. Maybe I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna consider it. Oh, Deep Sea Fractal. This object enters the field rested. On enter, each player puts a top card of their deck into the graveyard, and it's reservable. It's a 2 mana fractal. The problem is, I'm not sure how useful this would actually be. This seems like such a bad card. Like, am I just not seeing the potential? Because there are cards that allow you to see the top cards of your deck, and you can move it to the bottom, or you can keep it at the top. You can even rearrange them for Scry the Skies. The thing is, if you need to play a card before you play this card to make sure it's good, that's not a very good card. Because in a 60 card deck, consistency is very important, and if you need to combo something, it's going to be really hard to pull off. This seems like a pipe dream that I might try out, but at the moment it's still a pipe dream. We have Seeking Shot. I think it's shit, so I'm not even gonna read it. We have Viridian Protective Trinket. During your turn, water element cards your opponent activate cost. Again, it's like the fire one. It's a 10 card against water. Doesn't matter. Wind Rider Evoker, 3 mana wind card, Mage Human. It's a 3 mana 1/2. On enter, you may remove 2 Enlighten tokens from your champion. If you do, draw a card and I get +3 attack. It's a 2 mana draw card, but it's for wind. And this only works with Rai, because Rai is the only champion that can get Enlighten tokens. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use this. I did have a lot of Mage wind cards, but I don't think I'm able to use it at the moment. I just don't see the win condition. And we have Inerted Fury. Oh! Innervate Fury, 3 mana fire spell. D-level your champion, recover 5, deal 7 damage split among any amount of target allies. I can deal 7 damage split among any amount of enemy minions. 3 mana deal 7. 3 mana deal 7 sounds like a lot, but I have a 3 mana deal 4. I also have a 1 mana deal 4. Granted, this can target multiple things at the same time, but de-leveling a champion just seems pretty bad. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think the D-level cards are gonna work out very much. I mean, some classes don't really care about the level. For example, I could honestly, I could play this in a Lorraine deck, because if you hit level 1 Lorraine and level 2 Lorraine, doesn't really matter, because level 2 gives you a bonus on enter, so it only works on the first turn you level up with Lorraine. But if you de-level and you level up again, you're able to get the... Actually, hold on, that's a fire. So if I make a fire Lorraine deck, that might be poggers. Alright, let's open one last one. And then I swear to God, this is the end. There's one last one. Alright, last one for sure. I'm gonna power through. We got this card again, or we saw that card. What the hell is this? This is Mark of Fervor, the Tamer spell. This object enters the field linked to target ally. Link is with something. Ally gets +1/+1 and bigger. Holy shit! Oh, just a buff card. Wins. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, interesting card. Cunning Broker, Stealth, Assassin. This unit, yeah. Draw a card. Okay. This doesn't matter to me, so I can't use it. Fractal of Insight. Oh, you can't see it. Fractal of Insight. On enter, you may rest it if you do Glimpse 2, or again, it's a reservable, it's a fractal. This fractal doesn't seem to be that strong, I'm gonna be honest. Whoa! It's a wind taper. Target animal or beast ally gets +3 health and gains spell shot. If you activate a melody card this turn, put 2 buff counters. Whoa! Seems like a really strong card, but unfortunately it's weird and it doesn't fit in my Sylvie deck unless I got a bunch of other Sylvie cards. Horhazi Trapper. That's an assassin card. Don't even need to look at that. Scatter Essence. Destroy target Fantasia. Very situational. Not a lot of cards are Fantasia cards. Actually, we pulled a Fantasia card. Like a Fractal. Oh, oops. A Fractal is a Fantasia card. this Mark of Fervor is also a Fantasia card. So I mean, it's very situational. And then we have Cloak of Stillwater. It's a blue water card on enter draw card. Banish a card with floating memory. Prevent the next 3 damage. Whoa. You could burn floating memories to protect your champion. How many floating memories are you gonna have in a given game? On average, I've pulled like maybe 3 or 4 floating memories, and then you use it to level. So on average, you're using this to draw a card. It does cost 1.
Look at your head. Wait,
So how
actually look
would
like a
you?
mushroom.
It draws a card and it's able to maybe prevent 3 damage to a hero. How valuable is preventing 3 damage? Healing 3. Healing 3. Is that worth a lot? Is that worth 1 floating memory? In a lot of situations, it might be worth it. It's a card that is definitely worth considering. The only problem is it is an assassin card with a class bonus, so unusable. Unusable. Thank you guys for joining my live stream. I know nobody watched live, which is okay. Happens. I just hope that some people might join in, but no one joined in, so it's fine. If you do watch the VOD, thank you for making it this far with my horrible voice. I hope you like the background music. This is really fun for me. I would like to open more